Welcome back to the channel. I'm Phil the Reporter, and today we're going to be reacting to a couple of videos of women sharing their single mother stories and how hard it is. So let's take a look at the first.
So these are just a few things that I struggle with as a single mom. Having extreme guilt on the choice I made in a child's father. I saw a few signs throughout our relationship that he was not going to be a good person, rather poor character, really. And I looked past that because I just figured that in love, you're supposed to, nobody's perfect, is what everybody told me. And I stuck it out because I thought that eventually he would change. He didn't. Being a burden to my family, because I have twins and nobody wants to help me watch them at all. They say, "Oh, I'm going to help you." Nobody has helped me as far as like watching them. It's too much for them.
Yeah, that's because that's your responsibility. You know what I'm saying? But let's get back in.
Grieving the life I had before being a single mom. I was able to go out and be social all the time. I was able to travel with my friends. I was able to just have mommy-daughter dates with my first child.
Now I gotta pause it there, guys, because she already had a child. She has an older child, and then she has two younger children, these twins that she mentioned earlier. So it's like she kind of knew better of what she was getting herself into. Like, you're not going to have time for yourself. I mean, come on. Yeah, maybe having one child, but having two more additional, total three. So, of course, there's not going to be a lot of time. She already knew when she had her first child that she didn't have a lot of time to herself. And then she's kind of complaining about it now in this video. But it's like, come on, you already knew this. But let's get back into it.
I literally have no time at all. Finding time for myself, like being able to do things just for me, like go on a walk or just doing things, by myself, that is non-existent. Severe loneliness, that's really, really hard.
I got to pause it here. Severe loneliness is what she's getting ready to speak of. And it's not loneliness because she's by herself. It's loneliness because she doesn't have intimacy or someone there with her, a man. And so that's where her quote unquote severe loneliness is coming from. But she has her children. She's not lonely. She's with them all the time, of course. But you know, there's nobody that's interested in her. Maybe that's why she's speaking of this severe loneliness, or really seeing her or taking her serious right now. So let's go.
To handle because I don't want to jump into another relationship just because I'm lonely and then have some crazy man in my house again.
Oh, there we go. Again, key word there. So she's already made that mistake the first time, and it sounds like she ain't learned from it because she made that mistake again this second time with these twins. And she just admitted to it by saying again, right? So, this is unfortunately for her, this is like a major red flag for, anybody who's on the dating market right now. She's already made, a couple of mistakes and she ain't really learned from them. And she isn't learning from them because she's admitting to it here. So, what can you say? But let's get back into it.
So it sucks, but after I put the kids to bed, I'm there just with myself, and it's just like, wish I surely had somebody, but it couldn't have been him because he wasn't a good person.
It couldn't have been him in quotations because he wasn't a good person. Well, you saw the red flags in the beginning with this guy, right? She mentioned that earlier in the video, and you had an opportunity to kind of get away then, and you didn't. So you got to take some accountability, which she kind of is during this video. She's taking accountability somewhat, but it's like, this is your second time around. It's like, when do you learn from the mistakes? When is it that you're going to do better? So I give her a little bit of credit because she is taking a little bit of accountability, but outside of that, it's going to be tough for her. It's going to be tough for her to find someone who's really going to truly love this girl and give her the world if that's what she wants, and her children. So, but let's get back into the video.
Reliving past trauma, the things that kind of got me in this situation, I'll think about the arguments, I'll think about the text messages and the audacity that this person had. Every day, it doesn't go away. I think about it very often.
So think about the next person that's going to date her and the trauma she's going to bring to that relationship before it probably even starts. Because, like she said, she thinks about that. Now, how much of that trauma in her past is consuming her mind now is the question mark. You know what I mean? So who knows? She could be going to therapy and working out her issues here. But that would be, again, another major red flag for this girl, in my opinion, as to why I wouldn't date her. And because she's going to be bringing that trauma to this new relationship, any new relationship she gets into. And, that guy's probably not going to get a fair shot at this girl if he is interested in her. So, but let's get back into it.
And I'm, still very much upset about the things that transpired. Staying positive throughout this whole experience, knowing that I deserve better, that I really didn't expect this stuff to happen, and not getting any help, it can really make you feel really upset. And then when my daughter gets home from school, I have to be present with her. I have to be present with my sons because they need me. So it's very difficult to stay positive knowing that I have all these things on my back by myself.
Of course, these are your children. And we don't know. She didn't mention in the video whether or not she's co-parenting and what the status is of that. But it sounds like she's not co-parenting, and she has these children with her all day, outside of them going to school, and it's weighing on her. And, she doesn't really have anyone to blame but herself, and choosing, two men who just wasn't stand-up guys, So, but let's wrap this video up.
I'm going to take care of this shit, though, and I'm going to handle my business because I'm going to get it done.
Yes, she is. She's going to get it done because why? She's a single, independent female. So that's the first video. Let me know what you guys think about what she had to say. And so that's going to do it for that video. Let's get on to the next video and see what this lady has to say.
I saw a video of a woman saying that single mothers are deprived of a certain type of mothering experience. And as a single mom, this is something that I think about every single day because I have so many fears wrapped around this concept. I've been on my own with my daughter for the last 5 years, and it took that entire 5 years for me to figure out that I could actually keep the ship above water on my own if I give up my softness.
Interesting, right? It took her 5 years to figure this out. Let's continue.
Being able to rest in your feminine as a mother is a privilege. The amount of problem solving, logic, reason, responsibility that I have on a daily basis doesn't allow me a privilege of sitting in my softness. It doesn't allow me the privilege of being in my feminine energy as a mom. I have to lean into my masculinity more. I've learned how to not be hypermasculine, but I've had to lean into my masculinity more in order to keep my ship going.
Of course, right? Because she's playing two roles. She's trying to be that missing aspect or a missing parent in her daughter's relationship. So, it kind of goes without saying, yeah, you're going to, adapt or take on certain masculinity roles or characteristics because you're supplementing for the fact that it's not present there. You don't have a male, in the video, at least she doesn't mention the father or anything like that. So there's not a male present. So yeah, it's going to be, she's going to have some masculinity issues. Let's get to it.
And then I start thinking about the possibility of one day getting a husband and having more children and what my daughter is going to feel when she watches me raise other kids in my softness, because I'm going to have a partner that I get to lean on so I don't have to live in my masculinity and I don't have to be hard on them in the same ways or lean on them in the same ways that I've had to lean on her, because it's just us two.
Exactly. I just said that. That's what I was attempting to say. a second ago. So because she's missing that aspect, she's having to step up, or at least, you know, exude those characteristics of masculinity and trying to parent her child. So she just said what I just said, but a different way. But let's get back into it.
And one of my biggest fears is that my daughter is going to resent me if I have more kids or a husband and give them a love that she didn't get to have because I had to be on my own with her.
Yep, I agree with that. Her daughter is definitely going to resent her for that. So, I mean, it's, you know, we'll give her a little bit of credit. She's taking some accountability, or at least she's thinking, right, of her daughter. And if she gets into a future relationship, hopefully she takes the same mindset that she's sharing in this video into it. But let's continue.
So yeah, check on your single mom friends because she's hurting. She is absolutely struggling. And even if she doesn't want to be the one to tell you that because she doesn't want anyone to think that she doesn't have a grip on what she's got going on, I'm going to tell you for her. Check on that girl.
Very true, guys. Very true. You know, single mothers don't display it, you know, all the time, but a lot of them are struggling mentally, and because they're having to raise their child or children all on their own. So, you know, it's a tough job, of course, but, you know, this is a decision they decide to make, and all we can do is just kind of like, you know, wish them the best, and hopefully they make better decisions in the future. But anyway, so that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys all on the next video.